You're watching Notepad. I'm your host, Ibrahim Sani. On the eve of Thaipusam, we want to explore a few ideas. Number one, retail business. Number two, luxury. These are the two ideas that we want to explore because the economy is rebounding. We are trying to open up the businesses of Malaysia as well as the retail sector as well. So the most important thing right now is to identify what would be some of the key challenges for us to overcome in the rejuvenation of our economy post-pandemic. So I have the pleasure to have on the show Dato Sri Meer Habib, the executive chairman of HABIB Group. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you, Ibrahim.
It's also important for us to note that Habib Jewel just opened up their biggest showroom at Pavilion Bukit Jalil. This is a showroom that is offering products and services that is encompassing the gamut of the Habib Jewel's offering. So maybe Dato Sri, you can explore that idea first about the opening of your showroom at Pavilion Bukit Jalil.
Yeah, we've just opened our Pavilion Bukit Jalil store. It's about 4,500 square feet, and it's actually our biggest store in a shopping mall, and probably one of the biggest jewelry store in Malaysia. And we have decided to open in Bukit Jalil because it's just mall today, and it was just open. It's about 3 million square feet of retail, 1.8 million net lettable. So we are quite excited to open our store there.
Yeah, let's look at the segmentation that you guys have. What kind of segments are you looking at when it comes to opening such a store such as this?
I think the most important thing is we are looking at giving a very good experience to our customers. And I think with what has happening lately, with the social distancing and all that, what we want to provide for our customer is a really nice experience where it is not just about sales, but it's also about education and all the other services that we provide in our store. Like, for example, someone can go in and we have a special room to do ear piercing, for example. Why I say room is there's a privacy for some of our customers, especially those who are wearing a scarf or tudong. They can freely take out and have these services done. We have a few craftsmen who are doing repairs and orders, just sitting right there. And we also have like a collaboration space where right now we're having a collaboration with Disney. Habib has just come up with some of the latest collection, uh, which is the Frozen, with our latest gold 999 gold wafer, as well as the jewelries. So there's a lot of things that we can provide, and as well as customers can sit down and have a chat with our designers. Perhaps they want to bring in their grandmother's jewelry and preset. They can have a very casual place. They can sit down without any pressure. But what we really want to do is we want to give that opportunity for customers to just walk in without any obligation. It's like a gallery-like atmosphere where you just go in and just take a look at what is there. And most importantly, what we want to achieve is we want our consumers in Malaysia to be informed customers. That means we are always trying to educate our customers as to buying jewelry, because in Malaysia, when you buy jewelry, it's not just about adornment like overseas. It's also an investment. So when it comes to that, we would like to, people would like to know what they are investing or what they are buying. So that's our mission in educating people. So Bukit Jalil area is quite a large area, and the mall is one of the biggest mall in that area. So we expect wide range of customers from that area, from you know from the from basic items people are buying, like from gold ring to much bigger diamond jewelries. So we are able to provide a wide range of goods to our customers. They are able to see the big range of product that we are coming up with Habib.
The consumer experience is top priority right now for Habib Jewels. It can be seen here, evident through your customer experiential moment at this showroom in Pavilion Bukit Jalil. But I also want to understand a little bit better about how this is a little bit different from your other offerings from your other retail outlets across the country and beyond. Do you feel that this is the way forward when it comes to luxury shopping or jewelry shopping?
Yes, for Habib it is, because usually our showroom used to be about 1,000 square feet. So right now this one is about 3 or 4 times bigger than a usual Habib store that we have. And we are always pushing the limit. We are always coming up with something different. We also want to build a brand that Malaysia can be proud of, not just in Malaysia but all over the world. So we are always trying to push that limit and try to come up with something that is very, very different. So when you're looking at shopping malls, we are also competing and looking at other international brands in a shopping mall. So we would like to think that we are a very proud Malaysian brand, and in that arena of competition. So uh, I feel that Malaysians are equally as good as the international brands, or even better.
2020 and 2021 has been a very strange period, not just for the country and for Malaysians, but of course for the retail business. And
Mhm.
for retail business like yourself, particularly when it comes to jewelry, particularly when it comes to luxury, I'm sure it is taken a little bit of a different stroke compared to the previous years as before. Could you talk through us through some of the processes that you guys had to go through when it comes to continuing the business during the pandemic, and of course, how do you think things will shape up for this year?
Okay, I think we had a very, very interesting year, uh, 2020 and 2021, after the pandemic started. Um, Strangely, there's also a lot of demand for jewelry. I wouldn't say it's strange, because I think a lot of people were aware that during this period, there's also all over the world, the governments were also creating a lot of debt. So because of the creation of debt, we can expect inflation. So basically, everyone is looking at the gold price that's moving up. So which is what has happened, because during the last 2 years, overall, you can see that the gold price has moved, um, because of the anticipation of inflation. In fact, in year 2000 and this year, 2022, um, the biggest economic factor that, for example, this morning I was reading the Bloomberg, it's not going to be pandemic or Omicron, but it's going to be more of inflation. So people are already anticipating a big inflation. So whenever there's inflation, the hedge against inflation is gold. So there's been a very big demand for gold because of that. But in Malaysia, as I was saying, people are buying jewelries not just for adornment, but it's also an investment. So, uh, so many people were not traveling the last couple of years, and I think there are also people who are not spending a lot of money on other things. So the one of the best thing to do is actually jewelry. When you buy jewelry, because you get something new, something beautiful that you can wear. At the same time, it's an investment. You're not really wasting money. So we can see that the last couple of years, there's been a very high demand for jewelry. Um, but on it's just the challenges that we were facing was during the lockdown, because during the 2020, we had a couple of months of lockdown, and last year in 2021, from June, July, right up to August, almost 3 months, we also experienced a lockdown. So during the period of lockdown, of course, there's a lot of things that we can't do. We we have more than 1,300 staff, and most of them are retail staff. So we have to stay home, and but at the same time, there are all the other expenses that we need to deal with, especially with the shopping mall and all that. So that was a little bit of a challenging period, but there was also a good time for us to be focusing on our e-commerce business. So the e-commerce business by default became very, very important for us. And during that time, uh, to my surprise, I thought people might not buy jewelry, but it was just the opposite. People had a lot of confidence in buying jewelry from directly from us, from our e-store, as well as all the other platforms like Shopee, Lazada, and Zalora. So this I was quite surprised because today the situation has changed. Malaysians are very, very comfortable, confident buying jewelry, even like other luxury products through this e-commerce platform.
I think I want to explore more on that, Dato, because my perception, and I'm of course not in the jewelry business and all this, but my perception is that when you want to spend money on something, and particularly when you associate it with a special event, wedding, anniversary, engagement, the opening of a particular office, whatever that is, people that just, when you buy something as a hedge against inflation or for investment, that's one thing. But when you tie it down with something else, right, with a life event, wouldn't the person go through the process of having to touch and feel and discuss with your sales associate to try to explore some ideas? Is this an old way of thinking when it comes to purchase point behavior? Do you feel that the time is now for us to really deep dive on people buying jewelry items, particularly for events that might be associated with a live event? They're comfortable to do so online right now.
Yeah, people are comfortable doing it online. I think one of the reason is because of the brand that we have created. I think a lot of people know our brand, Habib. So in that way, they are quite confident of buying just because we are able to explain a lot of details, even online. And sometimes also we have this omni-channel where people just do go to our stores and look at it, and then they will buy it online or the other way around. So sometimes they make all the comparisons and everything else online, and then they actually go to the store to buy. But either way, a lot of people who have experienced that, who have touched and feel these products, they're very confident by looking at it online. They know they're not going to get big surprises. So on the other hand, some people may also start with buying some smaller jewelries, and then they progress in buying a bigger piece once they have the confidence. So it is all about that, because it is just getting used to this new way of buying. As we always thought that, those days we always think that the salesmen have to be there to explain about all the details. But today, everything that you can get online. For example, if you are buying an iPhone, all the details are already there. So when you go to the store, the salesperson is merely facilitating the sales by just taking out and giving. You don't have to ask them, what will the iPhone do and things like that. So the similar
Yeah.
situation, we are able to explain to our customers in details about what we are selling. And one of the great things is the social media. So what we have done in social media is we have live streaming on a daily basis where our consultants are always going on live and explaining about the products that we are selling. We also get questions during this period, and we are able to explain very clearly through our experts. Like, for example, we will have our gemologists, our consultants, the people who are expert in our organization will always be answering all these questions. Beside that, we also do a lot of educational series where we explain to our customers, how to buy jewelry, how do you see the 4 C's of diamonds, or how do you make sure that you get the right gold and all these other things. Beside all that, also some advice on investment, and things like that.
We'll go for one short break. When we come back, we'll continue a conversation with the Executive Chairman of HABIB Group, Dato Sri Meer Habib. Thanks for staying on with us. I have with me on the line Dato Sri Meer Habib, the Executive Chairman at HABIB Group, basically in charge of Habib Jewels as well. So let's talk a little bit more about the legacy of Habib Jewels. As I mentioned, this is a generational brand that has transcended across many Malaysians' lives. What's next for Habib Jewel moving forward? Is broadening your scope through international waters would be the next big thing, or do you want to just continue to entrench yourself domestically?
I think one of the most important thing is we want to build our brand to be one of the strongest brand. Hopefully, we aspire to be like the Samsung of for Korea, and we want to be the Habib for Malaysia. So because basically we are a very very proud heritage Malaysian brand. We are very proud to be Malaysian. If you really look at a lot of brands in Malaysia, right? Even though it's a Malaysian brand, they always have some Italian sounding name or some other name because a lot of people think that being Malaysian is not cool. Being Malaysian is, and like sometimes we go to the shopping mall and we want to negotiate for a good location. They will say that the good location is reserved for the international brands, not Malaysian brands. So sometimes we are also discriminated that way. This is something that we would like to change. We would like to change the mindset, not just the owners of the shopping mall, but also our people. Sometimes even customers, they feel that they are willing to pay a much higher price if it is an international brand. But if it's a local brand, they're always bargaining to get much lower prices because they think the quality is not good enough. So we need to change that mindset. And that's one of the things that Habib is really, really working very hard to do that because we are very, very proud to be Malaysian. What we want to do is we want to put Malaysia in the map of the world through our jewelry representing the culture and taste. A
You know,
jeweler is actually a tastemaker of a country. So we have a lot of responsibilities in building that solid foundation here itself. So as you say, Ibrahim, so right now we are really looking at how we're going to expand uh, uh, beyond the Malaysian shores. So this is something that we are looking at. Perhaps we will start with uh, maybe Southeast Asia, expanding into Southeast Asia before we go into the international arena. Now, all
you
this
know
year,
what
sorry.
But what you're talking about is brand strategy, and
Mhm.
that's highly critical for something like yourself in the jewelry sector. You're right; it is the tastemaker of a particular nation. Do you feel that a lot more work has to be done when it comes to improving that intrinsic brand value of Habib across the sectors that you operate in, or across the markets that you operate in? What would be some of the tangible steps that you can share with us in terms of improving brand equity value in the eyes of your stakeholders?
Okay, before we do that, we also work concurrently with the mindset of our people. So I think sometimes it is we are already thinking that some foreigners are better than us, but I think we need to be very proud of that, and because we have all that. I don't know whether this is a colonial mindset or what mindset, but for example, I can go to Thailand. The people in Thailand are very proud of themselves. In a shopping mall, they are next to all the biggest brands. But here we have this challenge. But I can tell you that Malaysians, not just Habib, but other brands that we see in Malaysia, we are equally good in terms of quality and whatever that we communicate, right? So I think we are also trying to change that mindset that we are good enough, at least as good as the international brands or even better. Okay, the second thing is we are working on the branding part. As you said, branding is not just about the logo and the name, but it's also about the other things that is involved. For example, the customer experience that we would like to provide. So as what I was talking about the Bukit Jalil, for example, when a customer walk in, we would like to see, to give them the best of the experience that we can provide, because that is also important in building a solid brand. Um, Beside that, of course, we have other things in terms of brand communication. consistency in how we communicate with our people. But more importantly, we also focus on our product. Our product is very important, so that is also, so we come up with quality products that has got creativity and, and modern, and, some of the products that we produce is also timeless. So these are some of the things, a formula that we have to build the brand.
Your direct competitor, Tiffany, when you type Tiffany or Google Tiffany, it immediately completes it with turquoise box. That's how
Mhm.
synonymous it is with the box. But I think many of us, I did a dipstick survey just before doing this interview, three of my colleagues, when I asked them about the corporate color of Habib, immediately all of them said purple. So I guess there's some market recognition in terms of your corporate color as well. But that would be some of the key ideas that you want to look at, right? Where people they mention the name, they mention the brand, it invokes some kind of feeling, right? Nostalgic feeling, a feeling of warmth, a feeling of luxury, a feeling of want, right? To be wanted. Do you feel that it's some of the segments in the market you already got? It's just that you need to reach out to a lot more. For instance, the discrimination that you face against shopping outlets. This is a story that I've heard for the longest of time, and for you to confirm it on my show, that's really, really important for us to address. Why would there be some key discrimination policies when it comes to local brands against international brands? Of course, that's not a question for you to answer, but perhaps the shop owners or retail outlets to answer. But do you feel that this situation will change in the near term, or there is still a lot more room to go when it comes to beating this intrinsic and of course explicit discrimination?
Yeah, I think we need to work together. It is not just about the shopping mall owners, but it's also generally people at large. I think first of all of us have to feel confident in ourselves, and we also we are working very very hard, a brand like ours, to prove to our people that we are good, as good or even better than others. So this is something that we do through communication, through education. So this is something that we will continue to do that. The reason why perhaps the shopping mall owners are discriminating us is because of customers are willing to pay a higher price, for example, or they look up to the international brands. So this is the assumption by the landlords, for example, right?
Mm, mm,
So
mm.
because of that, they feel that they have to put these international brands at the most important area.
Yeah.
They are even willing to charge a much lower rental for the international brand. If you're a local brand for the same location, you have to end up paying a much higher rental. These are some of the things that is happening today.
Very bizarre. Very
Yes,
bizarre.
so this is why we are. I think the local brands, for example, we need to to educate uh, all segment of people uh, to prove to them that actually, we are equally good or even much better. Ibrahim, let me just explain to you the last couple of years, right? When you're talking about the shopping mall, the people who are keeping the shopping mall alive are not the international brands; it's the local brands. We are the people who are bringing in the crowd to the mall. Without the consumers coming into the mall will be a failure. But these are things that the mall owners, the landlords, have to understand and recognize. So I think it's overrated, international brands. So I think it is about time that we have a paradigm shift in this.
It's important for us to also acknowledge the founder of Habib. Even your Instagram photo has a picture of him. This is a memory of a man that started from nothing and built this brand from the ground up. What will be the legacy for you moving forward? You're just passing over the baton to the next generation. Do you feel that this brand can continue to not just outlive you, but of course outshine the current status that it already has?
Mhm. So we would like to prove to the world that Malaysia has got quality and creativity. So we want to do that through our brand, where in the international arena you can see, um, uh, I remember when I was a child, right? when they were talking about Japanese product, they will say it's like it's a inferior quality. Like if it's a car, they say it's like a tin Milo and all those kind of things.
Mm.
But Japan has totally transformed. Now, if you look at Japan, it's all about quality. So I admire the brands like Sony and Toyota, what they have done for the country of Japan. So similarly, what we would like to see is Habib would like to prove to the world that Malaysia itself is of high quality and creativity. So this is what we would like to see as our legacy.
I think let's end there because that's a fantastic way to end legacy. That was my conversation with Dato Sri Meer Habib, the executive chairman at HABIB Group. If you missed out any part of this interview, just head on to astroawani.com, look for Notepad. You can also look for Habib. Also, if you have the time, and of course, if you want to comply with the SOP, just head on to their latest showroom at Pavilion Bukit Jalil. They just opened up there. I certainly am going to go there because I want to enjoy the experiential effort that they have put out for customers like me. Until then, thanks very much for watching and happy Thaipusam, people.